WP Scan is a very important tool that will discover lots of information about the WordPress platform you're targeting. It will give you information about the version installed, the theme used, the vulnerable component employed. You can as well enumerate the users, and WScan will give you the ability to brute force into these accounts. If you use it together with the Nick2 application, you will be able to assess your web server in a very good way. I went to turnkeylinux.org to download a WordPress virtual machine box. So you just go here, download this virtual machine that is compatible with VMware, install it, and follow the wizard in order to set it up. It's very easy and straightforward. So the IP of the machine here is 1.104. I'll go to my Kali machine here, open the terminal, let me zoom in, and use the command wp scan --update. It will update the database, which is a prerequisite to start using the application. Now the trivial command is to use wp scan --URL, then you specify the URL, the domain name, or the IP that you want to attack. In this case, it's 192.168.1.104. Just hit enter and wait for the results. So as you can see here, it gave us important information about the server type. It gave us as well information about, let us see, the name of the theme, some very important URLs, and it told us there are no plugins installed and no config backups found. We can append this command by using the eswitch, which is enumerate, and we can tell it to enumerate U, which means users. So now the scan will start over and it will attempt to enumerate the users. As you can see here, it has identified one user, which is the admin user. Now let me show you what can WP scan enumerate. If you search here for the eswitch, it can enumerate vulnerable plugins, vulnerable themes, DB exports, and users. So with the use of different switches, you'll be able to get more information about that. Now we have a very important piece of information, which is the admin username. Now we will try to brute force this admin username. For this case, I've created a simple word list here. It's wordlist.txt. But in your case, if you're doing a real world attack, you can go here to wp-whitesecurity.com, go to this link here, and download this zip file, which has over 1 million passwords related to WordPress. Just double click on that. Millions of passwords, which is very useful. You can as well use the RockU word list and the dark code word list as well, which has more than 14 million passwords. Now using this word list password I've created, I'll just append my command here. I'll use the switch P and specify the word list location, and then I use the switch U and specify the username, which is admin. You can as well set the number of threads, which are parallel attempts to try to brute force into the account. Press enter and wait for the magic. As you can see here, performing password attacks, it has identified the password, which is the complex password for the user admin. In order to prevent against users enumeration, Try or avoid using usernames as nicknames, because this WP scan, it identifies usernames from the URLs used. And in order to prevent against password brute force attacks, just try to use some secure plugins that will limit the login attempts for certain usernames and IP addresses. Also, make sure to set out the password lockout or the account lockout time. Now let's do a scanning for a real website using WordPress, which is out there. Try to enumerate the users, and let me check this out here. So this is a real website that is hosted on the internet. I just want to show you that it doesn't only work for the default installation for WordPress, but this tool is very powerful and it can work on any WordPress installation. Nginx is the server, the location to the robots.txt file, some URLs, and this site has most used plugins. This is the link to the plugins the website uses. Upload directory has listing enabled, so if you go to this link here, you'll be able to browse files. The version installed is 4.9.8. Here is some information about the WordPress theme used, and here is the information about the users identified. It has identified one user, which is not the admin default user, and the time taken is 1 minute. Now that you have this username, you can try to brute force it, but I don't advise you to do that on websites that you don't own. Just try to keep this ethical.